It was also a terrific year for tech investors. The sector leading the market in 2019, up a whopping 47%. So what's on tap for tech in the new year? Josh Lipton has your playbook.
Tech is on a tear, the best performing sector this year. Here are 3 predictions for next year. First, Apple makes its 5G move. The global 5G rollout is underway, promising super fast wireless speeds. Apple will unveil its own 5G iPhone in September, but it won't be just new hardware. Expect new 5G enabled experiences too, perhaps in augmented reality. You can bet that with a major network upgrade, Apple will introduce new features. Second, hardware spending softens. CEOs could spend less on technology next year. Vendors from Dell to HP have highlighted macroeconomic challenges. That could be bad news for hardware makers, but good news for others, like cloud giants, including Amazon and Microsoft, and subscription services like Zoom, technology that can be cheaper for corporate customers. Third, make or break for wearables. Apple dominates wearables with its popular Watch and AirPods. Now it's time for rivals to make a choice. Throw in the towel or step it up with acquisitions. For example, Google plans to buy Fitbit or introduce competitive products like Microsoft with its new Surface earbuds coming in the spring.
Thank you, Josh. Well, Dan, you've been all over the tech trade this year. What are you looking at going into the new year?
It really is about MAGA. It's Microsoft, it's Apple, it's Google, it's Amazon heading into the new year. When you think about those 4 names, they make up, almost half of the Nasdaq 100, and they also have outsized gains. And I want to focus on Apple here because Josh actually had a lot of predictions about that one, 5G, the ramp, that sort of thing. I think it's really important to remember this stock was up 86% on the year. It's up 100% from its January 3rd, 2019 lows. This is a year where earnings and sales did not grow for Apple. So when you think about the multiple that this stock is trading at, it's pure multiple expansion based on what is to come in 2020. And I think the idea of playing for some 5G super cycle doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense right now. And I want to make one other point because we talk about semis a lot and they've really outperformed. There was a headline a couple days ago. Huawei, we know where they sit in this whole global trade war. They are the #1 market share provider of smartphones in China. They just released an iPhone 11 alternative in their home country that does not have any U.S. chips. So when you think about this, if this trade war is to play out, if we do see nationalistic tendencies on brands, and then you have the inability to put your U.S. products in Chinese brands, those are big headwinds that I don't think are accounted for right now. And I'm a little worried about Apple up 86% on the year right now, all-time highs.
All right, let me just push back a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, going into the year, it shouldn't have been where it was trading. So the fact that it's up 86% on the year, I don't really look at that as a big a move as you do. But are you saying that you don't think the 5G phone will be successful there, or are you saying that it's already priced into the stock, or both? Or
I think if you think about what this trade war really is all about, it's about China tech and it's about U.S. tech. And I think China is definitely in smartphones is moving in a very different direction they are. They like the bigger phones. It was an aspirational product 3 or 4 years ago. Last year, when that stock got killed, was down 45% in Q4. They saw their iPhone units decline 35% in calendar Q4. I'm not so certain you might not see a big decline in this Q4 that we just ended. So to me, I just think
but all those worries, to Karen's point, all those worries were somewhat in the name of what are the headwinds. But when you talk about multiple expansion, they should get a multiple expansion because they have services and now they have streaming. So the same way that Disney gets a multiple expansion, I believe that Apple should get a multiple expansion. So, and now you have the kicker where the hardware actually starts to perform. And now you have another phone.
Do you though?
That's the
because
question.
What's that, the wearables?
No, that's the question. Do you?
Well, I just don't know. I mean,
so
to me, iPhone units haven't grown in the last 3 years. So if if everything depends on the installed base, you need the installed base to grow. The installed base, the unit that you need to grow is iPhone. So to me, you can't create an ecosystem around
you have a potential
AirPods.
for another super cycle with 5G, but you also have over $46 billion in revenue coming from services now that is growing with an installed base. I hear you with the AirPods. But that is growing dramatically for Apple.
Well, I just think it's the deceleration in services growth is really going to be a story of 2020. You're not seeing 50% growth. This is a very mature business now for all intents and purposes. You need that installed base to grow. It's growing in the teens right now. It's growing in the teens.
If trade gets any better from here going forward, I think that the market will move Apple even higher. Apple and Microsoft account for, as we all know the stat, 15% of the S&P's move. So it's reliant on those two names performing going forward.